I get that ooh.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
What's goody YouTube? How's everyone doing? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to yet another live reaction video. If you're new here for the first time, my name is TMR, and since you clicked on this video, you might as well subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave your comments down below, and enjoy this reaction video. What's goody YouTube? What's good, TMR gang? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another live reaction video. I'm your girl TMR. Thank y'all so much for stopping what you were doing and meet me over in this daggone break room, y'all. Oh boy. All right. Y'all see the title and y'all know what we gonna get into this good Wednesday hump day morning. Y'all, we're gonna touch on a conversation we had the other day about the Detroit McDonald's tragedy where two employees essentially both lost their lives, one fatally, the other one in jail now, facing more than likely the rest of her life in prison for unaliving her manager because she was mad that the manager sent her home from work early. Um, so there's an update to that story that I want us to talk about. And then there was another situation that happened last week in Arlington, Texas. And I've been getting caught up on this story where a man by the name of Todd Austin and I guess his wife, also mother of his child, Michelle Williams, both lost their lives. Todd Austin lost his life by the hands of Michelle Williams at a salon in Arlington, Texas. And she walked in and confronted him about some issues they were having. And as he was sitting in a barber chair, she unalived him right in the barber's chair and then proceeded to turn the gun on herself and unalived herself. So this just happened last week, y'all. So, there's a lot going on in our world, y'all. I'm still trying to get over the situation on Facebook a few weeks ago for that couple down there in Georgia and that situation. I'm still trying to get over that. But I did find a content creator that did a breakdown on that story because with the Todd Austin and Michelle Williams story, there's a lot of rumors circulating the internet like it always does. And apparently the friend of Michelle Williams has came out to clear up some of the rumors that's going around, basically saying that what people are alleging is not true. And because she was a close friend, she had, inside intel on what was going on. So we're going to check into that story as well. Right, Hennessy tragic all the way around with that situation in Arlington, Texas. Oh my God, just horrible. But it's something to be said when they say don't get into a habit of building a man up. If he can't come and meet you either right where you at or damn near close to it, sis, if he down at the bottom, it's no need of you pulling them all the way up because unfortunately, somebody will show you how they appreciate you, and they're not going to show you in a way that you feel like it's being reciprocated. Okay, it's definitely a sad situation all around. So I want to get into real quick the update on the McDonald's situation. If you guys remember my live the other day, I was asking, has there been an update or any type of statement that the owner or owners of the McDonald's have, came out and gave a statement? Well, apparently, the owner is actually paying for the funeral, and is also setting up some type of trust fund for the 6 children, which I think is remarkable. At the end of the day, it's, in my opinion, that's to be expected. That especially for the woman who lost her life, Jennifer Harris. She was an employee of that McDonald's for 15 years. That's a long time to be an employee of any job, but especially in fast food, Obviously, and like I told you guys the other day, when she started that job, she didn't start off as a manager. She had to work her way up to that position. And the owner is definitely showing his appreciation by looking out for her family due to her untimely demise. The family could, yeah, they could mastermind. That is so true. That is so true. The family could. That's a true statement. They definitely could. So I guess we'll see how that all unfolds. But I want to get into this story. So I just wanted to give you guys an update because we talked about this the other day.
Manager who was stabbed to death while on the job returned to the scene of the crime. This time they're honoring her life. Good evening. I'm Brandon Hudson.
And I'm Taryn Asher. It happened last week at the East Point McDonald's. Her co-worker accused of killing her, leaving the community devastated. Fox News joining us now live from this vigil. And wow, we see all the people truly asking a lot.
Yeah, an absolutely horrible story we've been covering since the very beginning. And yes, as you can see, a lot of people here getting ready to honor her and pay tribute to Jennifer Harris, 39 years old, single mother of 6, loved by so many, a manager here for 15 years here at this McDonald's. I want you to take a look at her picture and some video from what happened on Thursday, and let's talk about that. I'm sure many of your viewers remember this happened on Thursday morning. She got into a sort of altercation with one of the employees. According to police, she sent that employee home because that employee was not doing their performed duties. This is all according to sworn testimony from a detective in court on Friday. So that employee leaves and comes back about 5 minutes later and allegedly stabs Jennifer Harris several times in the drive-through area inside. Somebody witnesses it. They are a CPL holder, and they've actually pulled up waiting for their food. They shot a gun into the air to try to stop everything, but it was too late. And then they actually held the suspect in custody at gunpoint until police were able to get there. Obviously, this is so devastating for so many people. We got a chance to talk to family members last week when this first happened. I want you to listen to some of this emotional sound from one of Jennifer Harris's oldest children. She is Antonio Griffin. Take a listen.
My mama was a good person. She was the best mom anybody could ever ask for. She woke up every day and went to work for us. My mama died trying to take care of us. She was so good to everybody. A hard-working woman, so kind. If anybody needed help, she would give you her last, give you the shirt off her back.
So here we are. This vigil is about to start at any moment. You can hear them announcing. We're going to be out here, of course, covering this entire thing and bring you what's coming up tonight at 6. Reporting live in East Point, Camille Amiri, Fox 2 News.
Camille, is the McDonald's putting this on to honor this employee? I mean, we see so many people behind her. Are they also trying to raise money for the family since this was a single mother? She had several children, and obviously they are devastated.
Yes, and the owner of this franchise is actually paying for the whole funeral and has set up a trust for the family, for the 6 children. And there's a GoFundMe as well that we'll be putting on our website, fox2detroit.com. But yeah, McDonald's is part of this vigil. They moved it inside because of the heat. There's some beautiful red and white balloons that we're going to be seeing out in the air tonight at the end of this. But again, staying inside because of the heat and just trying to accommodate everybody here. But I think it's going to be a very moving ceremony. You can see all of us have pictures of stickers that they gave us to honor Jennifer Harris. So definitely a very touching scene here.
Yeah, our hearts.
Y'all, just watching that is so heartbreaking because let me tell y'all something. This could happen to us. This could happen to you. You could go to work and you don't know what can happen to you because, again, you don't know the mental stability of people and what they got going on outside of the job. Imagine, y'all, just think back to this woman that morning when she got up and got ready to go to work to take care of her 6 children. She had no idea that she would never make it back to that parking lot to get in her car to go back home. It could have been any of us, y'all. That is so tragic. And let's be honest. Yes, the family could potentially sue the owner because apparently or allegedly, Afina Muhammad, the woman who unalived the manager, had a history of violence. She was already on probation for an incident where she tried to stab a co-worker at a Taco Bell that she was working at in Virginia. So it's apparent that they did no background check. That's why it is important to do background checks at jobs. It's very important. Not only could the family sue, but the employees that was on that shift that day could sue as well. This owner, him not doing a background check on this young lady could potentially cause him his whole entire business. Because of his negligence, his or her negligence of not doing their due diligence of doing proper background checks. Had he or she done a background check, whoever does the HR for him or her, because I don't know if the owner is of male or female, had they done a background check, they would have seen the girl was on probation. The people on staff that day could sue too. Yeah. Because he put their lives in jeopardy. So, it's a lot going on right there. So him paying for the funeral, him or her paying for the funeral, putting up trust funds would actually potentially save more money. And let's be honest, if lawsuits happen, they're gonna more than likely, it's obvious the company is insured by insurance, so they're potentially suing the insurance of the business, not necessarily the owner, but still it could put him or her out of business when all you had to do was a background check. Yeah, it's a McDonald's job, but you're working around. Anytime you're working around other people in the live format where you're going to have to interact with people, yeah, we need background checks done. Because you're putting my life at jeopardy. Most fast food only does state background checks. If she wasn't charged federally, it's not going to pop up. When you say it's not necessarily federally, sis, let me explain something to you, Nee. When you do a background check, it doesn't have to be federal. State background checks is all the states. If you put down the addresses of where you reside, and let me tell you something, technology now, all they got to do is put your name in the system, and every address that you've ever reported or ever used will come up on your background check, on your credit report. Yeah, baby, this 2025, you damn near can't hide from anything. Anytime you could drive down the highway and they got cameras on the highway that will detect your license plate and can detect where you're going, yeah, you can't hide from too much of anything nowadays. It's very hard. That's true, Woo Honey. That is so true. So, y'all, real quick, let's get into this situation in Arlington, Texas. It's a double-edged sword because returning felons are suing and winning cases against companies not hiring them after they have paid their debt to society and want to start over. I mean, at the end of the day, not hiring you because to me, it depends on the severity of your crime. I'm not saying if you got a background, you shouldn't work. It depends on the severity of the crime. So, and the type of job that you're doing. So if a person chooses not to hire you based off the severity of your crime due to the type of work that you would be doing, I mean, that's to their discretion. I mean, having a second chance, I believe in giving people second chances, but it also depends on the severity of your crime as well, too. Right? So, all things are considered. That's true, Woo Honey. All things are considered. How recent, how long ago it was, if you've been in any trouble since then, there's a lot of variables to be in place. And there are a lot of companies that will, depending on the severity of the crime, how long ago it is, even for apartments, a lot of apartments or houses, or they'll say, your background, you can't have felonies in the last 10 years or 5 years, because unfortunately people get into trouble, unfortunately people get caught up. Sometimes it's due to their, not to their own negligence. Sometimes you just be in the wrong place at the wrong time and you just get caught up. Right, Woo Honey. Yep, that's true too. Hey, Lady T-Bug. Hey, Misty. We all know living in a government house on Pennsylvania Avenue for 4 years, right, Misty Thomas? All right, y'all. Let me get into the Todd Austin situation. We're just going to touch on it. And it's another content creator. Y'all make sure y'all go over and check her channel out. It's called Boss Babe Booty. She did a update, or not an update, but she basically kind of got some information together, compiled some information together and broke it down. I enjoyed her commentary, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So let me get into this video. And this is on the situation in Arlington, Texas that happened last week.
If you're new, honey. So today is part 3 of the Todd and Michelle saga, and boy, do I have some tea for y'all. We are going to be looking at some court documents today, some clips, and some screenshots. So if you guys are ready to get into this story and the tea, honey, just stay tuned. If there are some of you who still don't know about Todd and Michelle, I would recommend looking at my part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is just going to be straight up factual, record of everything that happened. Part 2 is a little bit more messy, a little bit more drama if that's what you're into. And part 3, we're incorporating a little bit of both, but you definitely want to make sure that you're caught up. Okay, now let's get into it. So Todd and Michelle, they had a very tumultuous relationship apparently, and now a few things are coming to light, including restraining orders and other official documents. So Michelle's friend has now come online to clear the air a little bit about some of the accusations that were being made on both sides. So let's go ahead and watch that clip, and then let's get into those court docs.
Okay, I'm here to tell the story of Michelle and Todd to clear the false narratives. He did not give her HIV. He was not cheating on her at the time of the murder-suicide. In fact, they haven't even been together in over a year. Yeah, Michelle came from nothing. She built herself up as a veteran, as a successful business owner, her knowledge, the things that she knew in order to get money to take care of her kids as a single mother. When she met Todd, Todd was living downtown Dallas under a CPN number. He did not know how to do credit repair. She taught him how to do that, and they built this business, Credit Champs, together. Ever they broke up, because I see he's been sending his clients the video when she pulled the gun on him. She wanted him out of her house, and he would not leave. There's an active restraining order right now against him. Terroristic threat against her and her son. He threatened to kill them both. Okay. Todd reversed all of Michelle's mortgage payments up to I think 18 months, probably more. To the point she was about to lose her home. How he did this is because they have a joint bank account. He removed her off of the bank. I don't even know how he could have even did this, but he removed her name off the bank because she had no access. He created a new email for everything to go to, not the email that they had. Michelle went to Vegas one weekend, and she came back, and all her money was gone. Now, could you imagine having $250,000 or even $500,000 in your bank account, and now it's zero? You can't pay your mortgage. You can't take care of your kids. He's threatening you. He's not giving you nothing for your kid, okay? Michelle had several cases against this man, okay? Me, as well, had a lawsuit that I just won and got off a day before the murder-suicide. Michelle was suing him for a lot. He was taunting her by still promoting this company, still making money off this company that they built, not giving her access to any of the money. He also wrapped a cyber truck, was riding past her house. She could see it on her ring camera. He was taunting her. She was so full of debt. She was about to lose her home. The air went out in her Tesla. It was just a lot of stuff going on, and she had $0 to deal with her situation. She reached out to family. She reached out to people to help her. And only a handful of us helped her, okay? So with all this stuff that y'all got on about he gave her HIV and she was cheating and it's more dick out there, it had nothing to do with that. That man stole her whole life, and he flaunted it in her face. Todd also took her $10,000 settlement payment that
she talked to or whatever. My thing is this: the hatred that you would have to have for someone to do someone that you were in a relationship with. I mean, there's court documents that they were married. They had a child together. It's being alleged that he had other children. I believe he's from like Kansas City. And I just, if this is true, can you imagine somebody that you trusted, somebody that you built up from the ground? You put them up on T, you give them the wheels, the knowledge to get this bread like you getting it, and they turn around and defy you in such a heinous stealing your money, reversing your mortgages. Like, what in the world did I do to you, sir? And I'm the mother of your child. What did I do to you? I would lose my mind too. Oh my God. I was just like, when I heard this, I said, if any of this is true, I see why she snapped. Can you imagine waking up one morning? It's being alleged that he took $96,000 out of her account. It's these sassy men for me. Because that's some real, bogus bitch behavior, in my opinion. Oh, you know her, Mrs. Yellow Hog? Oh, no. And then the fact that that woman was so out of her mind that once she unalived him in that barbershop, the only other recourse she had was to turn a gun on herself, knowing that she was leaving her child behind, her children behind, because I believe she had a 15-year-old and then they had a child together that was about 2 years old.
And I'm not justifying anything that she done, but I understand. So y'all can say whatever y'all want to say because I really don't care, honestly. I'm going to feel the way I feel and you're going to feel the way you feel.
Okay, now that was a whole lot of detail in that video, and I did have to speed it up a little bit, but I'm glad that she spoke out just to kind of denounce some of those claims that were swirling around online, because I saw that he had gave her HIV too. And I mean, I don't have their my chart. I don't even know these people. So that's why I think if any blogger is watching this, I think it's always wise to say allegedly, because you don't know these people and you don't want to say that something is a fact that's not a fact. But at the same time, something that we do want to do is share information that we've received as well. But like I said, I don't know these people, and I have been saying that from the start, honey. Now, I get that this is Michelle's friend. So that means that, she's going to be obviously on Michelle's side. And this is going to be more so of Michelle's side of the story, because the only reason why her friend knows is because Michelle relayed that information to her. However, another thing that Michelle made sure to relate to her is court documents and ring camera footage. So let's go ahead and get into that.
Nigga. Just tap in the motherfucker wanna fuck shit. You gonna take the pole? You gonna take the pole off the door? You stay, motherfucker. What are you doing for? What the code? Hey shit! Why the code ain't working? Why the fucking code ain't working? Todd, look at this. Watch this. Why the code ain't working? Watch this. Why the code ain't working? Why the fucking code ain't working? Ain't no code fucking working. She changed the motherfucker. She changed it.
If you guys remember, Michelle's friend said that Michelle really wanted this guy out of the house. I would assume after she kind of found out less than savory things about him. Like I said, I wasn't there. I do not know for a fact what their conversation was, but I do have a screenshot. So this is Michelle just sending over the footage and also the damage that he apparently did to the door. So we haven't seen him ever in action and physically assaulting anybody, but what we do know is that he is not a calm guy during times of stress, apparently. He does seem a little bit hot-headed, and in some way that kind of fuels those violence allegations, because people that commit violent acts are usually high-strung, high-temper, low self-control types of people. Actually, speaking of violence and abuse, so right here we actually have a protective order that was made in the name of Timone Williams. And for those who don't know, Michelle's full name is Timone Michelle Williams. So she initiated this protective order against Todd. And not only did she initiate it for herself, but her children as well. This next screenshot is a petition of divorce between Timone Riley and William Todd Austin Jr. Now, honestly, I have no idea why her name goes from Timone Michelle Williams to Timone Riley, but the only reason why I know for sure that it's her is because of the child, Amiri Blue Austin. That is the name of her child that she also had on the restraining order as well. So in this petition of divorce, they actually have highlighted a couple of pieces, and one of them is talking about William Todd Austin's history of violence. The first line of Section 17 states, William Todd Austin Jr. has a history or pattern of committing family violence. And it continues on to say, during the 2 years preceding the date of the filing of the suit. And this is another screenshot from Section 2. And it says, the damages sought in this suit are within the jurisdictional limits of the court. As required by Rule 47, Texas Rules of Civil Procedure, plaintiff seeks monetary relief over $250,000, but not more than $1 million. To be clear, you could sue somebody for this amount and they actually not even owe you that much. However, if we're going off of the story her friend said, he allegedly stole her business and closed off access to the funds. So if that is the case, $250K sounds in that ballpark range probably of what she's missing, especially if he was able to get enough money to get a Tesla truck and wrap it professionally and customizably. Okay. Now y'all already know I saved the best for last, the screenshots. So let's go ahead and get into these. Michelle sends a screenshot and says, "He been lying and scamming. I turned him all the way up. He was living downtown on a CPN when I met him. I didn't even know until I found the lease girl and seen he ain't even paid the last 2 months for his cable bill. Nigga was broke when I met him. I got him making more money he's ever made in his life, and he took everything. What a scumbag." Her friend says, shaking my fucking head, "This man is insane. He told me he was going to change my life. LOL. I told him, nigga, I could change my own life." Michelle says, "Ugh, it's so much. I can do a Tubi movie on this man." And this is the screenshot that Michelle had sent her friend. This is between her and Todd. Todd is in the white, she is in the blue. He says, "That's dope, but you don't have to put your face in pics. I was just gonna say, send me a text messaging saying, thanks so much with all the help with business credit. You were able to purchase a truck and your dream car. Just don't want no one to be like, he lame. I know her. She been having TJ. Babe, I'm sorry. I can't do that, baby. I can't give you that much credit over my life like that. I hope you understand, but I didn't mind you using the pics. I honestly think you'll be able to be fine without the fabrications, baby. You already a beast at your craft." And he says, "I wasn't going to use your name. Basically, I would have just put Minty. The pics would be giving me more credit, LOL." Now I'm thinking
Now, this is allegedly text messages between the friend and Todd. Now, explain to me why you're supposed to be homegirls with Michelle, why are you having text message conversations like this with her husband / baby daddy? Sounds like he did some work for her or with her credit or whatever. But why are we having conversations like this? And then Michelle apparently was confiding in her. See, I'm sorry, that was shady to me. Because I'm like, why is the friend having conversations like this with this woman's husband?
about this two different ways. Number one, I do know that there's people out there that like to fabricate reviews. Me personally, I am not a fan of that. I am not a fan of lying. I'd rather just give someone something for free, like a product for free, and you do a real review on it. That is my type of thing. By the way, I own a pet store, so that's why I'm saying this. But also, I feel like he's just such a dishonest person. He wants her to lie for him, and she's not willing to do that. And I also really do feel like you have to be a certain type of person to want to do fake reviews and basically lie in order to get people to come to you instead of them understanding your actual value. So, yeah, I do think that speaks volumes personally, but it doesn't automatically mean that he stole her business, you know?
So here's my thing, y'all. The moral of the story is she invested too much in a man that she thought she could trust. She met a man that wasn't on her level. She obviously fell in love with a man because she had a baby with him, married him, and was trying to do right by him because of the relationship they had, right? And instead of this man being appreciative and grateful and humble, he chose to villainize her, victimize her, use her, belittle her after she basically from what she states, from what Michelle said to the friend, when she met him, he was living in downtown Dallas on a CPN. They're never grateful. Never. That's why you can't build a man, honey. You cannot. You cannot. Now, maybe some, but since hey, if he ain't already where he needs to be, then he might not be. If he ain't at your level, then sis, don't even worry about trying to get him up to your level. And if he needs to get up to your level, let him put in the work for himself. So, this is a cautionary tale. And you cannot, woo honey, and you're most definitely right, Mrs. Yellowhawk. It's not going to work, Lakeisha. It's just not. So, unfortunately, and because this woman has unalived herself, I'm just going to assume that she had life insurance policies. I'm just going to assume that. Y'all know she had 2 children, a 15-year-old son, and then the child they shared together. Unfortunately, it could be that those life insurances are not going to pay out if there's a stipulation in there that if you commit suicide, that it won't pay out. That could be a high possibility. There are a lot of life insurance policy that in the event of suicide, that they won't pay out. So now the care of these children are obviously going to be relied upon her family, who more than likely didn't have the money that she had. Or it sounds like she didn't even have it anymore because he stole it. Suicide clause is usually 2 years. So, I don't know, y'all. This is a very sad, tragic situation. Once again, when you wake up that morning, you never know how your day is going to end. You never know, y'all. That's why when you leave your house, you got to stay prayed up, baby. Hell, when you open up your eyes, you ain't even got to leave your house, baby. When you open up your eyes, just stay prayed up. And understand your worth, your value. And if a man can't meet you halfway, then he don't need to meet you any other way. That's just real conversation. That's just real talk. Because unfortunately, in her situation, he showed her how he appreciated her by stealing her from her, causing her pain and anguish, and now also his life and her life as well. And now there are children on his side and her side that are left without parents and are going to have to be cared by family who didn't have the money that they allegedly had. Which is so sad. So very sad. So that's my time, y'all. I just wanted to bring that to you guys, bring these conversations to you guys. I know we talk about the moms over here, and this is a mom as well, so that's why we're talking about it, right? The Jennifer Harris story, the McDonald's tragedy, that's a mom as well, so that's why we're talking about it. And it's real life stuff that's going on right in our front and backyard, y'all. Mrs. Yellowhawk says she knows the family, Michelle's family. She's familiar with her and her family. So this can hit home for a lot of people. So y'all just take heed, take lessons, stay prayed up, be mindful. And never do more for somebody than that they can do for you. Take that as a lesson, y'all. Never do more for someone than they could do for you. All right, y'all, I'm gone. I'm out of here. Y'all be good. Y'all be great. Y'all stay safe. Until Mark's going to see you in the next one, honey. Remember, so much love. Bye.